Hola a todos, buenos días. Yo me llamo señor Vélez y hoy vamos a hablar de algo que es un poco complicado. Vamos a hacer los mandatos formales con pronombres. We're going to take a look at using commands, Usted and Ustedes commands, with pronouns. This can become somewhat complicated. It's almost like a puzzle at times in how you have to do certain things with the pronoun. When it comes down to it, it's really not that difficult. It's just a matter of remembering the different rules that we have to do things with here. So first we're going to look at doing pronouns with affirmative commands. And then we'll do them with negative commands. They're just a little bit different. You'll see why when we get there. So first I'm going to give you, I'll give you 3 commands with one direct object pronoun. Then I'll give you 3 more commands with one reflexive pronoun. Then I'll give you 3 commands with both a reflexive pronoun and a direct subject pronoun or an indirect subject pronoun, you'll see. And then we'll do all of them again, but in their negative form, so you'll see the difference. So the harder ones are going to be the affirmative ones, and you'll see why. First, we're going to start with the 3 commands using a direct object pronoun. The first one will be the first 3 will all be Usted commands. If you haven't learned how to form Usted commands, formal commands yet, go back, watch my video about how to form Usted or Ustedes commands, because if you haven't seen that yet, or your teacher hasn't taught you that yet, this won't make any sense to you. So you learned that with the verb comer, to form an Usted command, you got to think opposite. So the Usted command would be coma. But I want to say, instead of just eat, I want to say eat it. And it's going to be el taco. So again, if you haven't learned how to do pronouns yet, you need to go back and learn that as well, because these 2 things together, just individually they're somewhat complicated. Together they're more complicated. So go back and learn those if you haven't done this yet. So we have comer, Usted command for comer would be coma. El taco, I want to say eat the taco, but instead of saying the taco, I'm going to say it. El taco can change to the pronoun lo for it. In an affirmative command, it's actually more like English. Now I'm going to say eat it. The thing that's just a little bit strange though is that it, the word lo, I have to attach it to the coma. So what I'm going to have is coma lo. Now there's one more thing. When you're doing this, you're going to have to think about accent marks. We learned that, I went over some accent marks with you a little bit earlier with using pronouns with things like estoy comiéndolo or voy a lavarlo, lavártelo maybe, when there were multiple pronouns. So this is going to be a little bit harder if you haven't learned that yet. So when you're doing this, comalo, think about how you say the word coma. The stress is over the O, coma, and then you have the lo at the end of it. So you have comalo, and I'll repeat the rule again. Anytime you have a word in Spanish that is at least 3 syllables long, and the stress falls on the 3rd or more further syllable back from the end of the word, you have to put a written accent mark there. So if this word was 10 syllables long and the stress is on the 10th syllable back from the end of the word, you put an accent mark on the 10th syllable. But it's on the 3rd syllable back, put an accent mark there. Comalo. Next one, pasar, to pass. The Usted command be pase. And I'm going to say the salt, which is la salt. The salt could change to la. So your command would be pase la. Accent over that first A. Pase la. The next one I'm going to say translate the lesson. Traducir is the verb to translate. To go from traducir is traduzco. So you're going to form your command from that. Traduzca will be the Usted command. And las lecciones would change to las. So the command would be traduzcalas. Accent mark over that U. Traduzcalas. Okay, next we're going to look at how to do this with a reflexive pronoun. Right now in my Spanish class, if you're watching this, you're learning how to conjugate reflexive verbs, or you've learned how to do that, but you're learning more reflexive verbs, and we're also learning them with commands too. So the first one's going to be bañarse. This will be an Usted command. So if I want to say bathe yourself, or give yourself a bath with an Usted command, first let's just do the bañar part. The bañar would go to bañe. And then the say would just say the same. It would still be say because I'm not talking about me, may, or you, te, or so on. So it's going to be bañese. Accent mark over that first say. Bañese. Because it's 3 syllables back and the stress is there. The next one will be ponerse. So ponerse can mean to put on something. We'll learn that with something a little bit later. But just for now, put on and pretend that there's like la ropa or something, the clothing after it. Think about the O form of poner. The O form of poner is ponga. Or pongo, sorry. So the command is going to be ponga. And then the say is still going to be say. So the command for put on something would be pongase, accent over the O. Secarse, to dry off. So if I want to say dry off to someone, I would say sequese. Now keep in mind that C's got to change to the QU to maintain that k sound of secar. So you have seke, add the se to it, you have sequese, stresses on the third syllable back, add the accent mark. The next one, we'll look at the verb acostarse. Acostarse means to go to bed. So if I'm going to say, go to bed, let's do an Ustedes command this time. I'm talking to my kids, go to bed. The acostar is a boot verb. The O changes to UE, so you have to keep that in mind. The Ustedes command for just the acostar part would be acuesten, and you have to add the se to it, so you'd have acuestense, accent mark over the E, acuestense. Okay, now let's do 4 more. These ones will be with 2 pronouns though. So the first one will be, we'll look at lavarse el pelo. So I'm going to tell somebody, and instead, to wash your hair. So lavar would go to lave. The se would say se. Now I can change the word el pelo to a pronoun lo. So I'm going to say wash it, basically. It's going to be lave pelo. Now, if you're having trouble with the accent marks, think about just how to say the word lava. If it stresses over that first say, lava, lava. That's where the accent mark is going to be. Lava pelo. Next one, we're going to use maquillarse, la cara. So basically, put on makeup on your face, eres feo or whatever, eres fea. So the maquillar would be maquille, if it's for an Usted command. Maquille. Add the se to it, and then la cara can change to la. So we have maquillese la, maquillese la. So I have to think about these a little bit myself, because they don't come as naturally to me as they would a Spanish speaker. But maquillese la, accent mark is going to be over the I. Next one, we're going to do pasarme las bolas, so pass the balls to me. The me is going to be an indirect object pronoun for me, and then the balls will change to la, because bola is feminine. So the pasar, if it's just an Usted command, would be pase. Me is me, so attach that to the pase, attach the las to the me, so you have pase me las, accent mark over the first A, pase me las. And then lastly, we have afeitarse la espalda. So, tienes mucho pelo, you have a lot of hair on your back, so shave your back. Afeitar, for Usted, would change to aceite. The se is going to say se, so it'll be aceite se. And I'm going to teach the la espalda at the back, and change it to it, which is la. So, aceite se la would be shave it, basically, shave your back. Accent mark over the E, aceite se la. Okay, so, now we're done with the affirmative commands. The negative commands are actually easier, and you'll see why right now. Negative commands, you do not attach the pronouns to the verb. You have to actually put them in front of the verb. Kind of like you did earlier when you were learning pronouns with one verb, you put the pronoun in front of the verb. With negative commands, you put the pronoun in front of the verb as well. So, earlier we did eat the taco, but I want to say don't eat it to an Usted. The coma is still the same for the Usted command. The taco changes to lo, so no lo coma, but you don't eat it. Pasar la sal, so pass the salt. I'm going to say don't pass it, be no la pase. And then the other one was translate the lessons. It'd be no la traduzca. Don't translate them. Now you're noticing no accent marks. We don't have to worry about accent marks right now because we're not attaching the pronouns to the verb. So that's why they're easier. No accent marks. We don't have to worry about any of that. Reflexive pronouns. So bañarse, I'm going to say don't bathe yourself. The se is going to go in front, so you have no se bañe for an Usted command. Don't put on the clothing, for example, it would be no se pongan la ropa. Don't dry off, no se sequen for the Ustedes command. And then acostarse, so don't go to bed for Ustedes would be no se acuesten, no se acuesten. And again, no accent marks because we're not adding the pronouns to them. And then lastly, you have the two pronouns. Remember, if you're doing pronouns, there's multiple pronouns. If one of them is about a person, put the people before things. So the first one was wash your hair, so we're going to say don't wash your hair. It's going to be no se lo lave. No se lo lave. Don't wash it. Maquillarse la cara, so put on makeup. I'm going to say don't put on makeup. No se la maquille. No se la maquille. But don't make up your face. Don't put on makeup on your face. The next one was don't pass the balls to me is what it is. So no me las pase. No me las pase. And the last one was shave your back. So we're going to say don't shave your back. It's going to be No se la aceite. No se la aceite. I had a colleague who was studying Spanish, and she's having trouble with pronouns, where to put them, or when to put them on the end of the verb, or when to put them in front. The way that I used to remember when I was learning it was negative for negative commands. Negative, no attach. Negative equals no. Negative, no attach. Affirmative, attach. So A is for attach, N is for no attach. Affirmative attach, negative don't attach. When you're doing commands, you're attaching them to a verb, or attaching pronouns to a verb, you're almost always going to have to add an accent mark. Not always, because you have some verbs that might just be one syllable, so you might not have to do it then. But if you have a multiple syllable verb, 3 or more, there's a good chance you're going to have to add accent marks on there. So that's it for using usted or ustedes commands with pronouns. Hopefully this makes sense to you. If it doesn't, or you just want more practice, make a request, and I can probably fulfill that. And lastly, I just want to say, I filmed this lesson with my Droid-X cell phone, just to kind of show people what the video camera can do. That's it. Thanks.